always does this to me, always. Hopefully it looks okay, so we shall see. That's what I get. Okay, let's see. See my skinny one also move that out of the way. I'm very disorganized as usual. As usual. Just gonna start with a slip layer. I probably should have put the other mat down first, because I feel like I'm gonna get all of this into this vent, but that's fine. It's not thick enough either. But I just don't want to grab more because I was worried. I mean, it's got a good build there. So probably got a little too much, but I'll make it work. Oh, and I got bubble. But I got lots of bubbles, so it's all part of practicing. Get that bubble out. It's a very stubborn bubble. Probably not the best way to do it, but that's what I do when I'm just chilling. too much. I was a bit heavy-handed with this hand. But at least we can move it around and get our apex going. Because I was a little heavy-handed, so I don't have to come back and do it later. Just do it all at once. This probably makes more bubbles, but this is honestly the only way I know how to fix it. Okay. I think that should be okay. I'm gonna let it sit under here and smoothen out. I know y'all can't see that, but it makes it even. So that way I'm not having to fight as much. Because I am fighting a lot with this right now, and I think it's just because it got a lot warmer, so. But it's okay though. I should be able to even out anything that we don't like. Just like that's a little more even. I'm just gonna go ahead and cure it though, just so I can see where I am. It's a bubble. Bubble not going away. That's fine. I'm gonna paint over this one anyway. This one is gonna have the eyeball design, so it's okay. Hey, yeah. Definitely was not what I wanted. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I just got my hand in. I did this one earlier. This one wasn't bad. This one actually came out really good. I forgot what it's called. Oh, I've got gel on my hand. I'm so messy sometimes when it comes to gel when it gets warm. Alright, 5 more seconds. And so it's a little more rigid than I thought, but we can straighten it out, no problem. I just want to make sure that I have a solid foundation up top here. I see you too, so I'm going to move on to my next one. Because I'm going to be adding like all of this plus the clear. I'm not too concerned about my initial like peaks and stuff like that. Similar, oh actually I don't think I even streamed while doing this now, but for this one, it had a lot of peaks and stuff because it was like a layered kind of encap design? Yeah, encapsulated. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Encapsulated. So it's going to be a little bit different. Some people will tell you you don't need to start with a slip layer, and you don't. There have been times when I don't do it. And then there are times when I do it. I'm doing a slip layer this time just because I think it'll be a little bit easier for what I'm trying to do, especially when I was trying to do this one. So what you can do if you're trying to do something like this, like you want to have like a 3D French or something like that. Well, I mean, that's kind of what this one was. You'll slip layer the part that you want that specific color to be in, and then you'll do the rest with whatever. And then that will kind of help you control where it's supposed to go. It's not foolproof, but I will say that when you're doing like those kind of section designs, so say like if I wanted to do this one, and you know what, I might even do that half. If I just wanted this half, I would only coat half of this with my nude builder because that's where I want the nude to go. And then This will kind of let me know, okay, this is where I need to stop. This is where I don't need anything else. And you know what? I'm going to actually do that because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my other fingers, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little color blocking with some of the colors that we have here. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay this here. It is going to look a little bit odd because we're only doing half of the nail. So instead of that swooshing motion all the way across, you really only need to go about halfway. The only like real thing will be making sure that it's even, I guess. Which you can always do afterwards, similar to if you're using like acrylic and you have some peaks and valleys, you can always go back in later and adjust that. It's easier to add more. At least for me, it's easier to add more than it is to try to debulk, because debulking takes a lot of time. If you're just coating to try to get a look, or if you'd rather build it up, I think that's just a little bit more efficient, but that's just because that's what I've always done, and that's what's worked best for me. Obviously, if you have something else that works better, do that. Don't take my bad advice. Always stick with what's comfortable for you, because in the long run, you're going to be the person, doing your own nails or doing that person's nails. So whatever method you like, that's the method you got to keep with. Also, I'm sorry if my voice is really low. I kind of did this spur of the moment. I wasn't going to do it because I couldn't really get my computer set up to do it, but then people kept telling me just use your phone, so I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. We'll see how this goes. If we like it, maybe this could be like a cozy end of the day thing. I'll probably end up doing it a little bit later. The reason why I was able to do it a little bit earlier today was because I did not have work today, and I am resting and recovering from a very long road trip. Alright, so doing the half is definitely going to be a challenge, and it's going to take a lot of building up. But so far, it's not bad. I don't think that's directly the middle either, but I can always file it over. So I'm going to go ahead and cure that while it's like that, and then we'll build up the rest if we need more, because that's pretty thin, but that's the guidepost that I want, so I like it. I'm going to clean up the line though one more time, just because it is a bit warm in here, so my gel is moving a lot more than it was this morning when I did this hand. Yeah, so I think I am just going to go ahead and cook that. This is not a bad song. At first I was a little skeptical about this playlist because I did want something a little bit jazzy, and this is very jazzy. Let me move some of these. But yeah, so I'm kind of going for like a weird pseudo vaporwave 90s set. I don't know if you guys can see the colors I'm using. Let me see if I can. Those are the colors that I'm using. I don't know if that helps out anybody, but I've got like a teal, I've got like a lavender lilac, I've got this really pretty like indigo purple blue, I guess, and then I have this little light blue, then I've got this yellow, and then this black is going to be kind of what we're going to be using for a lot of like our nail arts. I do have white on the side, of course. Always have to have white because you never know when you're going to need it. And yeah, alright, so that's done. So I'm going to do that second part that I was talking about and build up that side just a little bit more. Just so that way when we go in with our color, we have like a ledge for it to be against. So, oh, wrong finger. Sometimes it gets a little difficult. Alright, so. So we're just gonna work this down a little bit, but only on this little spot here are we doing this. Because once I get that ledge, I'm gonna go in with the black, and then I'm going to, let me just, and that's pretty much gonna help us make this a little cleaner. Sorry if you guys can't see. Sometimes like I have to put it in my face to see where I'm at in the cuticle. So I apologize if I'm not letting you guys see where I'm at in the cuticle, because it's me struggling to see my own cuticle. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, so that's pretty good. I like what I have there. And then I'm just going to clean this up because I don't want this to get cured in my cuticle. I have a tendency to flood everything. Alright, so this we might need to for sure file because that's a little bit crooked. I cured it a little crooked, but that's okay. But we've got our ledge. So once I cure this, I'm going to go in with a file to clean it up. And then that should make this really clean, and we can kind of go in with that same marble that we had here on the other side of this, and then that will kind of save me some deciding time because I honestly didn't know what to do with that finger. But this works out for me really well. Oh, and then for those that are curious and asking or just wondering, this is the color that I'm using for my nude today. It's Van Leesa's A5 or A05, depending on how you say it, and it's called Tender Pink. It's a really pretty pink color. This one I do not have the number, but if you are on the site, it is going to be called Pearl Jade. It is one of my favorite colors aside from Red Bean, and if you would like to purchase from Van Leesa and just get 10% off, you can use the code Imperial. That'll be EMPERIAL for 10% off. You don't have to, no pressure, but I'm just letting you know if you want a discount, that's how you go about it. No pressure, I promise. Alright, so it's pretty much almost done, and this is where I'm going to do that filing thing, but I'm going to grab another paper towel real quick just so that I can cover up my babies, so that way they don't get anything in them, because we don't want that. Mainly, I don't want that. Yeah, I have an abundance of, like, paper towels, so... This is probably not the best process, but I have a really small work area, okay? So, whenever I need to swap out or change things up, this is how I do it. I cover all the valuables with a paper towel or a silicone mat, depending on if it's close enough to me at the time of me doing my nails, because I'm very lazy. And then I would go in and do it that way. So, this is where I was talking about. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try to clean up my line. But it's not... It doesn't want me to. There we go. Just be careful, don't hurt yourself, obviously. So I'm trying to clean up my line and not file the shit out of my finger. If you're wondering why it looks really sticky and uncured, that's because all of these have an inhibition layer. Alright? That's what that is. I usually leave it on there, especially if I'm in the midst of doing something, because I'll get caught in the inhibition layer, and then when I go to clean the inhibition layer, all of the dust and everything else is going to go with it. A lot of people say that's a little bit inefficient. Why don't you just clean it and then clean the dust as it appears? Well, because I'm a little unorthodox, okay? And this is how I've always done it. And it works best for me. So... I'm just trying to... I would love to go in with an e-file, but I feel like it's going to be really loud. So I think I'm doing a lot of hand filing for the majority of me trying to do this and any other nail art that we move to after this, just depending on how I'm feeling, because I'm not really tired and I've rested enough after us returning, so I think I'm okay to just do this. I wonder if that's even... It doesn't look that straight, but it's honestly a little bit harder for me to get into this section. I know I said I didn't want to use an e-file because I feel like it's going to burst everybody's eardrums, but I'm super tempted right now if I can't get this to even out. Alright, I think that's about as even as we're gonna get. Oh, why did I try to put the file in the alcohol? Alright, now I'm switching to my mini art portion. So I gotta grab my little liner brush. I already have some black set aside for this, but I'm gonna grab a little bit more just because. I'm gonna do that same line that I did on this finger. I might even go over that afterwards and get like a little 3D effect, but really quickly. I am gonna clean off just the edges of this. I don't want there to be any issues when it's time to cure. Alright, so. Maybe a thicker line. I guess this would be like a really good time to talk about like pressure. I talked about it a little bit on TikTok when somebody had asked me about how I do nail art and like how to start and beginner stuff and things like that. And I think the first thing that I ever brought up, especially when, you know, thinking and talking about nail art, is the pressure of your brush. So if you want like a really thick line, you're going to want to put all of the weight of that brush down. And that's how you get something like that. It's a little uneven, but whatever. Now, if you want, and I'm going to only do this because it doesn't matter what happens on this side. If you want something a little more dainty, you're going to use less pressure. And so this is where, if you are on TikTok, you see when they're doing like those like really cute petals or their little dollops and stuff like that, they'll start like this and then lighten up. And then like that's how they'll get like some of that stuff, is because they start so heavy and then loosen up. And then, like, they keep going. Like, that was a really bad example. But that's pretty much, like, the premise of line work, at least. And then pretending that's just kind of what that question was about. Again, I said this side doesn't really matter. Okay. So I think that's pretty clean. It's about as clean as I'm gonna get. Just want to make sure that it's straight before we cure it, because when we cap it, that's it. Oh, I don't want too much of it going. So let's see here. I just want to add back some of that thickness that I had. Alright. I am gonna do like I did my other one. I know I wasn't recording at that time, but I'm just going to kind of work this out and then add another line. I just want the black to the gradient I'm about to do to be seamless, which is going to be hard to do. Alright. And I got it on my skin. But I'm always getting stuff on my skin. Like, that's why I use like 70,000 paper towels. Alright. So now I can cure that. I'm curing all of these for 60 seconds. Normally I would do 20. I would do 30. But because, I don't know, I was feeling a little bit different, I didn't decide to do that. Another element, because once it dries faster, then I can go put the next thingy on top, and then once that's done, I'll cure that, and it's just one of those things. It's really cool, it's really nice, but this time I'm just going to be playing it a little bit safer, just because I kind of have a specific idea in mind for this, and that's why I would like to cure it for the full 60 seconds, which is what I don't normally do. I think after this, just because the other ones are going to be a little bit simpler, and they're not going to have as much meshing, I can go back to the, that's not the one I, no, that is the one I wanted. I can go back to the 30-second in between ones and then not really need to worry about anything, and then that'll be wonderful because it won't take as long. I feel like that's the only thing that I don't like sometimes is that it takes so long. So I am now going to get some of this. I'm also going to get some of this. I'm going to get some of this and some of this and some of this. Oh, that's way too much, but whatever. And so now what I'm going to do, see if I can get it to, I don't want the colors to mix too much. I think like sometimes that's the hard part about these things, is when the color starts to mix just like that and it doesn't hold that same gradient anymore. I'm gonna see if I can get some more purple and this color in it. I mean, there's plenty down there, but you know. Alright, so now I'm just doing a little cleanup because we got a little messy here. We do need to clean our line. And then what I'm also going to do, it's not as clean as I wanted it, but it matches really well with the first finger, so we're gonna keep it. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. I don't think it's that bad. It's different, but I don't think it's that bad. Especially since I'm kind of going for something a little bit wacky anyway. Let's see. Oh, 19 seconds left. Alright, we're still doing pretty good on time. Because when I tell you doing my non-dominant hand, it's always a hassle. That's why I started it first. I was like, oh, this is perfect. House is nice and cool. I don't have to worry about anything. Woo! Alright, so once this is done, that means we're going to go in with clear, which is going to be AO1 for Vanillisa. And we're going to encap all of that. I am going to go ahead and get rid of the rest of it. Oh, that's fine. I must have touched it with gel. Alright, note to self, don't touch it with gel, y'all. That's how you cure debris inside. I didn't know I had gel on my fingers, so. Alright, so. I'm going to move that out of the way so I don't get that on my hand. The clear is always the stringiest one. Alright, so for this one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to go right on that seam, kind of where we have that mini ledge. And then we're just going to, I know it's probably going to be a little bit hard to see, so I do apologize about that. But I'm going to work it down just this side. and just this side only. Oh, and we might have to put a gem on this one because I just noticed something wrong with my line and I want to cover it up. Alright. That's the key, guys. If you ever notice something is wrong with something that you've done, glitter it or put a gem on it. I might even do the gemming with you guys because I'm a little indecisive and I don't know what gems I'm going to want, so... Now that I've added like this shiny coat to it, I mean there are going to be some bubbles. This is not my forte and I apologize for that. Hold on. There are some bubbles on it, but I don't mind. We can get it cleaned up real good. What I am going to do is go back in and just make sure that everything is even from this side because this side's obviously flatter. So that way when I go to even file it, I don't have too much to worry about. So I'm just going to be putting like a really thin little bunch right there. Okay. I mainly use these things on myself, so I'm not too worried about the whole like, oh, you shouldn't like touch the blah 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 blah. Yeah, I really only use this on myself, so I'm not contaminating or anything like that. I haven't really had any clients that wanted hard gel. A lot of them just really like acrylic and or dip, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind that at all. But for me, still seems a little flat, but I'm going to go ahead and cure it after I hold it upside down for a second here. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So if you're just tuning in and you only see the palm of my hand, I'm sorry. I'm evening out some gel. One way you can even out gel is to hold your hand upside down, so that way when you're making your apex, ignore the middle finger, when you're making your apex or your support system right here, it levels. And so that's what I was doing, and now I'm going to put it in. I don't think it's level, but we're going to go ahead and put it in anyway. And then I don't think I'm going to... No, I will file it right away. I know myself very well. A lot of times people will tell you, like, don't stop and file. But I'm just doing my own nails, and I don't care. So once this is done, I am going to stop and file. And then just real quick, I will go over all the colors that we're going to be using today. Just gonna tilt this a little bit. Alright, hopefully everybody can see all the colors nicely. Alright, so we're using Waters of Morocco, which is this nice pretty teal. We're using, this one's called Voila. I thought it had a sticker on the side, but this one's on the bottom. So this one's Voila, and I have no qualms turning this upside down, guys. That's what I love about Medusa gel. It will take ages for it to get there, unless it's a thinner formula. Some of the colors are thinner, but these ones here are pretty thick, and that's also why I like doing them for full coverage and nail art. The next one is this really oh, look at that, Summer Lilac, and it's this really pretty purple color that I just got all over myself. Just be careful when it's hot. I feel like gels always get a little runny when it's warm or it's hot outside, and they'll start to like ooze out of their thing. Like this one was one I was going to use, but I had to set it aside and clean the entire container because the color above it decided to explode. So that's why be careful with temperatures. This is Pompano Breeze. This is a really pretty blue. And then we have our yellow here, and this is Glow of Soul. Anytime you see this AUX, just know that that's like the Cajun spelling of just the O. So if you see Mojo and it's like MOJAUX, AEUX, right? EAUX, that's the O sound, okay? A lot of people think I'm crazy because I'll say that all the time. It's like, yeah, that's how you spell my old dog's name. Mojo, MOJAEUX. Alright, so I'm going to do my patented cover up to protect everything move here, so that way we can assess what we just done, because I like to know It's gonna need more stuff before I move on to the next nail. This is also why I don't prime all my nails back to back sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, because I know for a fact I'm gonna want to stop and assess one of my nails for like 5 minutes. And I really only do this process when I'm doing my own nails. I don't do this, obviously, if I'm doing the client's nails. I follow the traditional pattern of apply, 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 sharpen, 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 art, 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 you know, things like that. Obviously, unless they're doing something where it's like, okay, I want blue on this one and green on this one, then obviously you would do, you know, apply, apply, and then apply, apply, kind of deal. Like, what I'm doing, obviously, is overcomplicating everything, and I'm not gonna lie, this actually is less efficient. Because what you could do is apply everything, and then go back and see if anything at all actually needs to be, you know, restabilized or having anything additional added on to them. And again, I am hand filing just because I think the e-file, just because of where the placement of my phone is today, it's going to be a little bit too loud in your guys' ears. So I do apologize if you can even hear the sanding of the nails and you don't like that. I know that cannot be good for everybody. I guess unless this was an ASMR stream, which is totally not. I don't think I could do that. I've never been a big ASMR person, but I understand people who are. I totally get it for them. And I'm happy that they have a safe place. But just not for me, not for me. Alright, so one thing I could tell for sure after going through here and doing this one real quick, I don't need to worry about my sides. My apex is a little short. And when I say a little short, it needs a little bit more stability here. My nails aren't that long this time around, so they don't need to be too big of a support, but we do want to have something mild and natural looking similar to this one. This one does have a little crevice here, but this is fine. I'm planning on actually putting a big piece right here, so this is perfect. So this can sit in there, and then when I'm adding that extra gel, I don't have to worry about there being a big clump and things like that. Sometimes you get bigger jewel pieces, so I don't know if sometimes people think about that or not. If you're already planning to put a big piece on, sometimes it's okay to make a little divot or even like a little dip, so that way it can hold that piece comfortably. Sorry if there's a lot of shaking. Like, everything's attached to this desk. The phone, my other camera that I use to make YouTube videos is attached to this desk. Like, everything is on this desk. Alright, so I'm gonna do the wipe. Just, like I said, ignore that ugly finger. We're gonna get to that. Alright, how do we feel? Alright, I'm not as happy with it as I thought I would be. That and this is still crooked here. So the only other thing I can think of doing, which I do on occasion, would be, this would be one of the ones where an outside fix could probably work really, really well. And so instead of it being inlaid, we switch gears to re-even the nail up by doing it on the outside. And I am perfectly fine with that because I pivot daily, like all the time. And I'm going to tell you right now, this line is still not straight. I think that's like my biggest kryptonite, is trying to do straight lines. Alright. That's my non-solicited tip right there. Get yourself a really good cleanup brush, so that way if you're like me and you fuck up a lot, you can fix it easily. Alright. So I do like that there. I'm also gonna bring this down. I've also been noticing like a trend of like some nail people, they won't, I've even done it on here just because, but they won't like seal the ends. Like they just leave it there. I was wondering if that's like is that a new thing? Do people prefer that look? of having like the nail peek out underneath like the art or whatever's being displayed. Is that a thing that we like now? Because for me, it used to always be like, no, it has to be sealed, it has to be covered, blah 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 blah. Um, and so I would like try my damnedest to make sure everything was either sealed or that you couldn't tell something was there, like this hair. Like that would be my main goal and focus, was to make sure that nobody could see anything. All right, so. All right. So I do like this a little bit better, but I think the reason why I like it, oh my god, it's still uneven. This is gonna bother me so much. This is why I don't right off the bat prep my other nails, because I do stuff like this and my perfectionist takes over. Even though that was like lesson one of everything. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one for 30 seconds because I'm mad I did that. But nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. You will drive yourself insane trying to obtain perfection. Okay, the only thing that we could ever strive for is to be better and have better excellence. That's it. That's it. That's it. Don't let anybody else tell you different, because there's no such thing as perfection. Nothing. Nada. I'm sorry if you just heard that and it was really loud. I have to move a magnet really quickly. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and let that one be. This one does still need an apex, but I'm not going to do it with this. I'm actually going to do it with my cheat sheet, which is Builder in a Bottle. We'll get to that later if we have time for that. Oh my god, this is just looking atrocious. Alright, so next would be these two. Should we do another French? I'm not sure. Should I straighten up the ugly nail? Is it bothering anybody? It's not bothering me yet, so I'm gonna leave it there. Alright, so I am gonna go back to Tender Malt. I'm sorry, Tender Pink. I usually use Tender Malt. I'm using Tender Pink today. Sorry, did not mean to confuse anybody. I'm using Tender Pink today. I didn't confuse anybody but myself, because I really did want to use Tender Malt, but I just didn't get around to it. I didn't want to pull it out. Like, where I store everything is insane. Originally, what I wanted to do with everybody was do a swatch video. I had just bought some Valentino cover colors. And they're really cute and really pretty, but a lot of people were saying that they're similar to Young Nails and how all of their cover colors look the same. So I honestly was super curious about it, which is why I had purchased it. That, and I just wanted to see what all the, not hype, but what it was about. Especially since like gel had become my new first love. I haven't used acrylic in a very, very long time. I don't even think I'd be able to do anything acrylic wise for a very long time. I mean, I have gotten back into it and I don't mind it. Sorry, finding the position for the pinky is usually like my biggest crutch in life. Alright, so we're just gonna do it like this. I'm probably gonna make a crap ton of bubbles this way, but this is the only way I can, like... I'm sorry, I'm throwing up gang signs. Alright, let's see here. I was trying to see if they would play that one song. I mean, I guess I could always go find it, instead of letting the playlist do its job, you know? Oh, and for anybody curious, it is the Chill Hop playlist from Spotify that I'm using today. Just because, again, came back from a road trip. Just kind of trying to decompress. It was time to switch out the nails after the trip. And that's pretty much what I've been doing, you know, after unpacking and making sure that everything is okay. Picking up the dogs, making sure that they're okay. I kind of was just like, I just need a moment to decompress and do whatever I want to do. Ooh, this one is perfect already. I'm going to show you guys. Look at that. This one, I already did it. There's my little apex there. Let me not move too much. I'm going to clean up the sides just because I am a little sensitive. So when it cures on my skin, the crap burns a lot more than normal. Because it will burn. I mean, if it doesn't burn you, then more power to you, you freaking psychopath. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, I promise. But if it doesn't burn you, then that's really good. But it burns me to no end. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in 60 seconds. I am using 60 when I'm using a hard gel, but I will do 30 with the nail art. These will cure no problem in 30 seconds. These ones, these ones here, because they're a little bit of a thicker viscosity, and it's a totally different formula, I really don't suggest you trying to do a speed cure of 30 seconds, no matter how powerful your lamp is, just because you're probably going to get pockets where it's either not completely cured itself, or worse, you just now have just random pockets because you've not given it adequate enough time to sit under the lamp and do its thing. So clear, you probably could get away with because there's no pigment in it, you know. That's usually the problem when it comes to curing. The more pigmented or the more opaque something is, the harder it might be to, you know, get it to cure in the lamp. And another reason this is why I love Venalisa and why I will recommend Venalisa to so many people that are wanting to learn gel, get into gel, beginners in gel, but don't want to spend that much. Venalisa is probably the most budget-friendly nail gel product that I've seen thus far, aside from obviously like Macart and Young Nails Precision Gel and things like that. Why am I getting so much? I'm doing a slip layer. But Venalisa is definitely a close second, close third. For me, they were first, but that's just because I was gunning for that formula. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed it earlier when I had it in my hands. This does not move. Like it doesn't move. Like, obviously, it's moving on my brush and things like that because that's me doing that. But, like, it does not move. So when people are like, I'm having trouble figuring out how to lay gel, figuring out how it's supposed to sit, figuring out what to do with the gel, 5 out of 5 times, if not 6 out of 10 times, depending on what that person is specifically looking for, I recommend them Venalisa gel. And that's not just me being like, yeah, use my Venalisa code, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, that's me saying, like, this is a formula that I was using, I got used to, I fell in love with, so it might work for you because it's very thick, unless it's extremely hot. And if it's really hot, then it's going to be super runny and you're going to have a headache because you're going to be chasing it like a ill-rationed bead of acrylic. And I'm going to say ill-rationed or ill-ratioed, I should say. Because that was my biggest crux back when I was doing nails with acrylic, was trying to figure out that beautiful ratio. I got it eventually, obviously, or else I wouldn't have graduated. But I got the ratio eventually. And then gel just fell into my lap and there's a bubble. And this is kind of why you have to be really slow and methodical when you're using gel sometimes, because moving around too much can create bubbles on the surface as well as for the nail, and then what those bubbles do is create instability in the nail. Because if there's a bubble, no matter how big, how small, that's a section of gel that's not getting support from the foundation that is your nail, you know, or whatever base you may have put down before then. That's what that means. So that's pretty much how it was explained to me, and that's how I understood it. You don't like bubbles. You don't really want them. Like, 1 or 2 is okay, especially if you're learning, like myself. Like, I'm definitely not a master by any means. I'm still kind of figuring it out as I go. Sure, I would love to take one of those fancy instructor courses and learn from them and figure out what's going on. Because I know Ugly Duckling has a few courses. I believe Young Nails has a few courses. I also think Valentino has some courses, but not on gel. And I figured those would always be like really fun to take. And just to kind of expand my knowledge. Oh, I must have cured that. Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll just make sure to cover that up. So it looks like I may have cured some of the color gel on my nail tip before getting this bad boy coated, which is okay. Because if I've learned anything with nails, it's what you do when the mistakes happen. It's not the fact that you made a mistake. It's how you cope. At least that's I don't know, maybe that's just me. I don't know. Alright, so this one's a little bit better. This one's still pretty lumpy. I'm not going to add any more. I'm actually just going to go ahead and cure it because the thumb is actually one of the hardest things for me to do, especially with gel. So I'm just going to move my lamp a little bit closer here, and I'm going to go ahead and cure this for 60 seconds. And then what I'm going to go back and do is add to those two ugly nails that I have, which is my thumb and my ring finger. And the reason why, oh, look at that. I'm just as messy as can be. But the reason why I'm going to go back and do that is because they're not as stable. They're not smooth. They don't have that finish, you know. They're not what I like. But, again, we do have my cheat code, which is the Orly Gel FX Builder in a Bottle. Now, this is really good if your hard gel nails are growing out and you don't really have the time to do a full-on fill. And I'm not saying, you know, cut corners. If there's any lifting, make sure you get that off and things like that. But what I'm saying is, if you're growing out, you've got that little crescent in there, and you don't have any lifting, all you really need to do is file or buff off that top coat and that shine, and then use your builder gel to kind of bridge that gap. Now, depending on what kind of nails you have, it'll look super natural. You won't need to worry about repainting it. You just need to put your top coat on and call it a day. Now, if you've got colors and stuff like that, you might find yourself trying to do either a reverse French or just putting a full-on cover on top of it, which is perfectly fine. So as you can see, ridgy, very ridgy. So I'm going to fix that. And so this is just me putting this here in this little pocket, and I'm just going to work my way down to kind of fill all those ridges and make sure that we've got ourselves an acceptable point of support for our nail structure. I hate saying nail structure because it makes it so less, like, it makes it not glamorous, you know? I mean, but that's what it is. It's a nail that I'm structuring here. Alright. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Okay. So I still got a dip there, but I'm not too concerned because when it comes time to filing, we should be okay. I'm just gonna move this up a little bit so that way it's not making a hunchback bun. I'm gonna even out the sides a little bit. Alright. So now that that is done, and I'm still getting gel all over my hand. Sorry, I'm super disorganized, y'all. Alright, so alright. Hopefully that's okay. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. Okay, let me get to the art part. We shall see. Yeah, I don't really know this. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and skip that one just because. Hopefully this is a little bit better. I just kind of picked whatever one had like jazzy, lo-fi hip hop beats to them. So yeah, that's all I did. Alright, so I have 5 seconds left on this bad boy. What I'm gonna do is my patented move, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and clean the inhibition layer off of this one and this one. Wonderful. Alright, I'm gonna push the lamp back a bit and I'm going to file really quickly. Again, I'm hand filing instead of e-filing because I don't really have any silent e-files. A lot of the ones that I have are going to make quite a bit of noise. It's also the same reason that the vent underneath me is not on, because it makes quite a bit of noise as well. So I'm just going through here and I'm just trying to clean up some of the ridges and valleys that I had. I didn't have too many ridges and valleys on this one because I did a pretty good job of evening it out. But we are still going to go through. I apologize for any shaking. Again, as I said, everything is attached to this desk, including myself. And that's why you're getting some shaking. I'll do my best to like detach myself from the desk so that way you can still see my filing process and as well. Originally, I wasn't even gonna like talk through this thing. It was just gonna be like music and then nails. But I had to start like talking myself through the process, and I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna ruin these guys' cozy time, and I'm just gonna have to like make my nails like a thing. Alright, so for here we still have that really huge ledge that we don't want, which is not good. You can tell it's there because everything else is being touched by the file except for this part. It's still shiny. It's not looking very good, which means we are gonna have to go back in there and fix it. Would this be a whole lot faster and slightly more efficient with an e-file? Hell yes. Hell yes. Once I'm able to, I would like to like set up a mute function so that way I could do that without bothering your guys' ears. Oh, I forgot this one does have a inhibition as well. My semi-perfect pinky. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and take care of the ugly stepchild for once. This is just so I can get my bearings. Because I was very heavy-handed with this one, so I knew that this one was going to take a bit of time to even out, which is perfectly okay. And what you might notice as well is these nails are going to be a lot thinner than these ones, and this is because I am right-hand dominant, and this is my display hand, so it always comes out 10 times better than this one or 10 times worse. We will see by the end. But that is usually also why this hand is plain. It will only ever have marble or stickers on it, which I think is funny. Or stamping. Stamping. I can do stamping with both hands and not have any issues. Just want to make sure they are not the same length. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is not my dominant hand. Jesus. Alright. So I'm going through my edges really quickly here. just because I'm noticing that there's some lumps hanging off the edge here that kind of gives it this weird kind of shape that we don't like. Well, I don't like. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. If they like oblong nails, they should go for it. It's similar to like those duck nails and those really curved claw nails. They're wonderful on other people's hands, just not mine. That's all that I can say is they're not wonderful on my hands. Alright, so this is me going over, and again, we can see our ridges and valleys because touched, not touched, touched, not touched, not touched at all. So we definitely have some unevenness going, and I think that's also why my end there had that really big bulbous drip drop on it, is because I either did not finish cleaning up well, or it was what we knew had happened and I had used too much product, so it was unable to sit properly on the nail, and I was also unable to hold it in there properly. So now that we know all of our areas of, hold on, let me do the pinky while I'm at it. Ignore my gang signs, y'all. But now that we know where all of our possible integrity issues are, we can go back in and fix them now. So that way our nails last a really long time and we don't have to do this. Because after this, I would like to move on to press-ons. So what I do is I'll do my nails, which will take anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 hours, I guess, depending on what I'm looking to do, how stuck I am, because believe it or not, I feel like nail techs always get stuck once it's time to do their nails. Or when they get that one client that's always like, surprise me, or you know me best, do something that, like, you know, shows me your creative insight. And I'm just like, the fuck you talking about? Just give me what you fucking want. I don't have any creative juices today, and I'm very sorry that they're all out. Like, you gotta come back in like 2 weeks when we re-up or something. Like, all out of stock of creativity today. But maybe that's just me. Yeah, because, like, honestly, when people do that, it stresses me out just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I think what I will do for sure next time is get me a mouse, set up the computer. We'll do, like, another test run. I feel like I've done, like, 2 to 3 test runs before. And I just never... like follow through after that. So that's why I told myself, I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're already here, let's just go ahead and do the thing. Alright, so I'm uncovering my babies because we are now going to even out my nails. So for those that were wondering, like, oh, what are you gonna do because they're uneven, yada 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 yada, this is what we're about to do because they're uneven. Again, sorry for the shaking. There's not too much I can do about the shaking because I am attached to this table. Alright, I'll let that dry a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in here with my trusty application brush. Even I don't believe that this is what this is originally for. This is what I found it to be extremely useful for, especially when I don't need a lot. Alright? So, this one. We need to clear the body, which is just right here. So I definitely have too much for the body, so what I'm actually going to do is come over here. And we're going to place it here because this section, this nail has way more infrastructure issues than my other ones do. So you definitely don't want to move your brush as fast as I'm moving. This is actually what makes bubbles. And if we go over what we spoke about before, you don't really want bubbles, just because they may compromise the integrity of your nail structure. And at the same time, they don't look cool. All right, unless that's like a look you're going for. But if that's the case, there's another way to do that, which would be to actually, you know what, we should test that one stream. I should test that, because I want to say if you use the soap bubble method and then you uncap that, would the clear gel or colored gel, would it not just fill up those little crevices that's made by the soap bubble? Or would that actually give you almost like that kind of cracked stained glass look? That's what I want to know. And you know what? We can most certainly test that. Maybe I'll test it with the press-ons I'm about to do in a little bit. I'm just trying to get my support beam in here. For those wondering why I'm like, I keep going up, it's because I'm trying to get some support beams going. It had a wonderful support beam, but with me going in to fill in some of the voids that I had, the support beam needed reinforcing. And you don't want to pick up your brush a lot. I'm saying a lot of stuff that I'm doing because, one, these are my nails. Yes, a lot of people are like, well, your nails are a reflection of the client's nails. No, the fuck they aren't. You know how much experimenting I do on these nails? Do you know how ragged these nails look underneath here? Because I put myself through that torture. I would never do that to a client's nails. Now, if the client had frequent flyer miles and maybe they were, you know, we're starting to get some brighter nails or something, I'd be like, hey, yo, we might need to take a step back from doing enhancements, and you might want to maintain with maybe just some manicures and polish. So anytime you hear somebody saying like I'm taking a break or I'm taking a step back, it's because the removal of whatever enhancements that they had, be it acrylic, gel, hard gel, dip, and things like that, it was done incorrectly. 100%. It's not the enhancement product that fucks with your nails unless you're, you know, obviously allergic to it. It is the technician or the nail artist or nail stylist, however you want to call them, because apparently there's a myriad of titles out there now. However you want to call it, did your nails. That is why your nail beds are probably fucked up. It has nothing to do with the actual product that you're putting on your nails. It's how you're taking them off. It's how you're prepping. It's what are you doing while you have the enhancements on. I, for one, know that I'm trash with my enhancements on because I do things like try to do sports. I be trying to fight. Like, not for real, obviously. Like, I do stupid stuff with my nails. So they'll either break or they'll go through a lot of stress. So when it's time for me to remove them, it's like, oh, yeah. What did I do that for? These are not good underneath. And then that's when I'll have to do like a really simple overlay or something like that because it can't withstand having, you know, that tip or using a form. So it really just depends on the person's situation. I do like this one. This one's pretty like chilling. Like, it's chill. Very relaxed. I like it. Oh, and we're out the oven. Looks 1,000 times better. We are going to even it up, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it. Since this one is pretty much done. And I'm going to file it before I put art. So a lot of people wonder why some people would do that. I file before I put art on, and the reason why I file before I put art on is because you don't want the surface to be too smooth when you're doing stuff like that, because you need it to stick somewhere. It's just like when you're prepping your nail and you have to get all the oils off. It's that same premise. You want to make sure that there's no oil, no debris before you do your nail art, because if it gets in there, it shows up. Like, it shows the fuck up. Perfect point and example, me curing that stupid green color, whatever that color is, on my nail before I went to add the overlay on the tip. Alright. I'm just gonna go ahead and coat the rest of this so it's all newish. I'm just getting my edges so that way there's nothing uncoated. Because usually if you have something that's untouched, that's when like you'll get lifting. Like if you ever see, or like if you ever paint your nails like with gel and it just peels right off, that a part of that, you know, if it's not oil and debris that hasn't been cleaned up, or you know you've not prepped the nail properly, it honestly is you may just not have a section sealed, and that's what causes it to like flake off like that. Like that happens to my toenails a lot because I don't really care about my toenails, and I switch the colors so often. To me it doesn't matter. Same with my nails. I don't prep them a lot. Like I'll do bare minimum. I'll add like a little primer, I'll buff it, make sure all the oils are off. But because I switch my nails so much, if they pop, I mean, these hard gels do not pop off. But if they, you know, if I'm using acrylic and they pop off, oh well. Time for a new set. It doesn't bother me that much. But for some other people, they might be like, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's too much work on your nails. It's a lot. It's not a lot, trust me. It's not. It's my passion. Like, it really is. Like, I don't know if anybody even has seen or came across me on TikTok. If you have, then you're a rare breed. But a lot of my stuff is just me doing nails if it's not me in my video games. Because I actually have 2 TikToks. Very, very, very stressful. It's similar to me having 3 Instagrams, which is a hassle in its own right. Okay? Alright, so I am going to trademark and put this all back here, cover up that purple. But I am going to go back really quickly and just kind of straighten out this one once more, especially the end. I wonder if this time slot would even be good. Sorry, like I just realized I got off camera. Sometimes like if I'm checking something, like I have to put it up to my face, and so I go off camera, so I do apologize for that. Maybe when I get some more cameras, when I start putting stuff on my face, hopefully you guys can see it too. Alright, so this one's a little bit better. We're getting a lot more of that universal coverage, so that way we don't have hills and valleys and ridges. I guess it depends on who you talk to and which one you prefer to say. Alright. I had my little mini buffing block. Okay, this is the one I used on my other hand earlier today. I'm just gonna buff this out. Just so that way, oops, I'm pretty sure I just hit my camera. Again, sorry for going off camera. Alright, so this is what a lot of times I am looking for. Sorry, my camera's like going crazy. Alright. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Sorry about that. Are we focusing again? We are. We are focusing again. Wonderful. Alright, so this is my finished product before we've added nail art. Yay! Look how beautiful that is. Yeah, you see those white dots? Oh, this is also uneven, but you see those white dots? Those are my bubbles. And so this is a part of what I'm saying, like, it's gonna mess with the way your stuff looks. But since it's just the top, I think us adding the art should be okay. It should cover it up a little bit. I think I just ruined the shape. I did, everybody. I ruined the shape. Because I over overfile. I start to get like anal. And then I start overfiling. But, yeah, it's not... Sorry if that's really loud. I'm so sorry. I know I'm like really close to the camera. Alright. Now we're back in business. Alright, so this one too. We're just bringing this in a little bit. This one will be hard too because we've already like done our thing with this one. It's a little uneven, but I'm okay with that. And yes, this is me settling for the mistakes that I've made because there's nothing else I can do at this point. You found me out. Yeah, because all my shapes are messed up right now. All of them. It's okay. We're going to trust the process. I feel like this is also why it takes me a day and a half to do my own nails because I overthink, I overfile, and then I stress myself the fuck out. And it gets insane when I do that. My pinky's still lovely though. My pinky's fucking immaculate. You ever notice how you'll have just one finger that looks really, really good? For me, it's either like, it's always either the pinky or my thumb. Like the two things that I don't show in pictures very often. Which I think is hilarious. Like, and then these days, because people want to see the thumb too, because they're like, well, if I'm going to get this set, I need to know how the thumb looks. Now you have to like include the thumb. Or try to include the thumb, or you'll do like a separate shot for the thumb to make sure. Alright. So this is what we have. I'm going to go ahead and buff this one. We're going to be doing some nail art on these bad boys. I think I'm going to chrome them. I might do like a little layer of like a blue chrome maybe. I don't know. It's very hard trying to decide what I want to do. Alright, so this is what we have, this is what we're working with, okay? So now what we have are a few options nail art wise. What I'm going to do is leave these two alone. I think I'm gonna do something with them. The line on here is still crooked, but there's nothing I can do about that. It's okay. What I'm actually gonna do for... Oh, I got gel on my hand. For this one, maybe... Alright, so I'm going to use my cheat code really quickly. And just because I know I don't have any other plans for my crooked finger, it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and get that extra oomph with this instead of using the clear. And this is my builder in a bottle. I don't remember who showed me the little shortcut or if this is something I just developed on my own, because I feel like I've been doing it for a really long time now, especially with my gel sets, is to use the builder or just any kind of builder in a bottle. It doesn't have to be Orly. So if you have like your own favorite brand of builder in a bottle, you should be able to use that just as well. I just know that this will save me some time, and then not only will it save me some time, but I don't have to worry about an exorbitant amount of bubbles coming from me with my twitchy hands. In fact, everything will just lay perfect, and that's what I like, is for them to lay perfect. So I'm just going over the ends here just to make sure I'm getting the sides, because you want to not leave anything undone with this one. But yeah, same premise. If you're doing like a fill, you can do that exact same thing that I just did. What you'll do is you'll recenter your apex or your support structure, and you'll go in that way. So because I like my support structure on this one, all I wanted to do was give it a little extra support on the one side, which I've already done, and now I can cure it. So yeah, and to be honest, this is not even, well, it depends. I usually buy the set because I'm lazy. So the set gives you top coat, primer, the builder, and nail forms. When I'm low on nail forms or I'm looking for something specific, because the nail forms that came in that pack, fabulous, chef's kiss. Mwah. Okay, like I was over the moon. Alright, so we got 30 seconds left here. Alright, so there's that. This also has an inhibition layer. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off so I don't have to worry about anything later. Alright, so now that I've done that one, because I know we're not doing anything additional to it, I already told myself that, we can move on to the nail art portion, which is going to happen on the rest of these nails. And then because I've already put it in that builder bottle thingy, I can take my time with the top coat if we decide to get a top coat. Now, as for the shimmer, still trying to figure out if that's what we want to do, you guys, or if we want to do something else. So what I am going to do is I'm going to, oops, where's my baby? Here it is. So what I am going to do is clean off my little tile here. Since we've gotten this far and it's time to start art, we gotta retailer again. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off. Some of these do not come off because I've either cured them and not taken the time to file them off, or cured it and it just did not want to come off. It's a difference. Wholeheartedly, there's a difference there. One is me being lazy and the other one is this thing being rebellious. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this one out. I don't think we'll be needing that right now. And I'm bringing out my favorite companions. Alright, and these are my favorite companions. Nope, not that one. These are my best friends. Alright, these have helped me through so much. Now look, these are my best friends. Alright, I'm gonna move some of these out of the way. Not completely out of the way. Just so that way you guys can still see it if I am going through and grabbing things. I don't have my little rest right now, so I do apologize about that. So this is not going to be as beautiful and organized as we'd like. So what I am going to do is go in with white first. And I just really like this white. It's very opaque. It also cures nicely. Like, I don't have to put it in 2 to 3 times. I have had some gel polishes where I've had to do that, is put it in 2 to 3 times. This is going to be Flying Nimbus, and this is also from the Medusa Gel collection. So what I'm going to do now here, oh, we overfiled. You see that right there? That's us overfiling. And that's not good, because what that's going to do is it's going to promote lifting. So we are going to have to go back in and fix that. But first I'm going to paint what I was going to paint. Maybe some of you already know what I'm painting. I feel like it's been trending for a while. The trend may have just died too, like right when I got to it. Maybe it decided it didn't want to be a trend anymore and everybody was tired of it. But because I haven't done it yet, I'm going to do it. Okay. Alright, so now that I've filled this in, I'm going to go in with a little bit more, just so that way I can fill in my little eyeball. Because that's what I was making. I was making a little eyeball. Does that look even? I mean, my thumb is totally not even, so I feel like judging whether or not this is even is really hard. And I'm such a messy pickle. Alright. Alright, is this even? Do we think this is even? Maybe if I go in really quickly and just kind of clean it up a little bit. Alright, I think we're okay on this shape at least. It's gonna get like lined with black, so I'm not too concerned about it not being perfect. I mean, yeah, I'm not concerned about it being perfect. That's the correct way to say that sentence. So I'm gonna cure it. I'm gonna go ahead and cure it. Alright, so it's in there. It took me a second to get it in there, but now I'm in there. Sorry if my voice is all over the place. I had a weird day today, like coming back. Like I went out to go do some stuff, and I'm a person that doesn't wear shoes a lot, especially like if I'm in the comfort of my own home, my own backyard, that type of deal. So I didn't wear shoes, and I went outside, and I got bit finally. My luck has run out. I've never been bitten in the past, I don't know, 15, 16, 20 years that I have been barefoot and outside. But something finally bit me today, and my foot is super huge. It's like swollen. I have no idea what it was. It was like a tiny. I thought maybe it was just like a little ant bite or like a red ant bite, which is fine. Like they'll itch for a little bit, they'll go away. They're usually akin to a mosquito bite because they stay so small. But this is not staying small. In fact, this got out of hand, and now my foot is huge, and I can't bend my toes the way I would like. I don't know what's happening. I'm questioning a lot of stuff with my life right now, but it's okay. Alright, so it's done, which is good. I'm not gonna go in with the black yet, because what I would like to do is paint the eye that is supposed to be in here. Now, painting the eye, I was unsure, which is why I bought this other blue, which is this one. It's really pretty. It's called Neon Blue. It's part of the Neon collection. It's Neon Blue 15, I'm sorry. And it is number 161 if anybody is actively looking for it. But I think this blue would be better on the eye, for the eye, especially if I'm trying to do something a little bit trippy, right? So I think I have too much on my brush, so I'm just going to thin that out a little bit so that way I can make this exactly where I want it to be. That's very uneven, but we're going to fix it. I knew that this was going to be harder than trying to like draw anime eyes on something. Like I used to draw like a lot of anime, especially like when I was in high school. Like I was obsessed with like the different art styles for anime, and I think that's what like I really liked it. Alright. So I think we've got it where we would where we like it. Does that look even to everybody? Probably not. Oh Jesus. We're gonna go back in anyway. We're just gonna reinforce this a bit because I do like its placement. It's not a bad placement for an eye. Okay, we will have to clean that edge up. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep filling this in just to see if we actually like this color against the black. I hope we do. If we don't, we can change it. Not a big deal. That's usually what I tell people all the time. Like, it's perfectly fine if you get to a point in the design and you don't like it, just tell somebody. At first, yeah, maybe they're gonna be like, oh man, I just went through all that for you. But the thing is, they're your nails. It's your hair. Your style, you know? It should look the way you want it to look. Alright. Sorry if I'm getting off camera with this. Again, it's just because I'm as blind as a bat, and I really need to see. I just hope everybody else is able to see. I'm not gonna lie though, y'all. This eye is starting to freak me out. But I don't know if that's because I did such a good job on it, or... and it's starting to look like an eye. Okay. How perfect is that shit? Look at it. Look at it. Is it not creeping you out? Is it not creeping you out? Because it's creeping me out. Alright, I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. Oh, and for those curious, like, what lamp I'm using, because it does matter, and why I'm able to do the whole 30 seconds come back cure, I will show you what I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and move my camera just a little bit. I'm using the Bell lamp at this point in time, and this allows me to cure on 10, 30, 60, and 90 seconds. 90 is going to be for those that are a little bit more sensitive. 10 is if you're trying to flash cure something. Yeah. Now, when I'm doing like nail art and certain things, I will occasionally do the 10 second one, because it's a lot speedier. I can get in, get out type of deal, and I love that. All right, so now I'm gonna take my other brush, one of my other brushes, and I'm actually, oops, sorry if I bumped the camera there, and I'm actually going to, sorry, I have to mix it up, so it's a lot of black that I may not need, but we're gonna go ahead and stick it right here, and I'm gonna try to whittle this out of my brush and get the line I want. Alright. Is there hair on this? Is that what's happening? Maybe, maybe not. Alright, so I'm going back in. I'm gonna outline my eye this time. And then we're gonna add those creepy eyelashes that we see on them all the time too. Alright, so for this line, I'm not using that much pressure. I'm kind of keeping it to a medium. And this is just because I want coverage on the eye, as well as just outside of it. And I do think I have hair in here that I've yet to get rid of. I don't know where it came from. Maybe from one of the dogs. I don't know. But I'm gonna try to clean this real quick because it's gonna mess up our eye. Yep, see? There was a hair in here. And I just couldn't place it. Alright. So I'm gonna re-up. And so now what I'm going to do is try to thicken this part right here so that it's not as opaque, translucent, and it's more opaque. And then what I'm also going to do is get the top of my eye going. Again, we're using that same kind of pressure. Now I get this shakes a lot, and a lot of this is because I don't eat like a normal person should. I get sidetracked a lot. And so a really nice trick that I learned, and this is good if you have shaky hands or don't, is you're gonna want to anchor your hand somewhere. Now you can do this with your pinky like I'm doing. Or you can even, because when I was in here doing this, I just used this as my ledge. So it really just depends on what you're more comfortable with. But I think our eye is freaky enough, no? Can we cure this now? Should we cure this now? I'm going to cure it before we add the eyelashes because I feel like I'm going to mess up on the lashes. And I feel like I'm at a good point right now and I don't want to fuck it up. Alright. It is a little uneven, but I'm okay with that. Alright, so I'm going to put it in. 30 seconds it's cooking. I'm going to wipe some of that off. I'm going to go back in here. That's probably why I have hair on it, you guys, because I keep wiping it on a napkin that I just dusted over, which is really stupid to do. Why would I do that? I don't know. But that's what I've been doing. Alright. So, I have 9 seconds left. Again, sorry for the shaking. Everything is attached to this table desk thing, including myself. Alright, so now that we've got this done, we can now go in with the lashes. So I don't know if there needs to be a lash like all the way here, but we're gonna go ahead and pull one out. We're losing a little bit here. Alright, do we like how creepy this is? Do we like do we like how creepy this is? Yeah. Alright, so now what I didn't know what I wanted to do on the bottom is whether I wanted the creepy drips or more eyelashes. Should we just do more eyelashes? Does this also need... It does, doesn't it? Right? It does need a pupil. We have the sclera, the iris. We just need a pupil, right? So what I'll do... I'm going to go ahead and cure this. 30 seconds. And then I'm going to see if we want bottom lashes or not. Okay, so I know what I'm going to go for. I looked it up. You guys are going to be amazed at what I'm going to do, alright? Okay, I'm talking rather big. You may not be amazed at what I'm about to do, but we're just going to pretend. But I think that's a good... Alright. Is this creepy enough? And you know what I could do? I could put a little glitter in between there. Right? Right? I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these in because I do actually like the way that they look. Oh, and there goes that hair again. Alright. Maybe I should have cured my triangles before I painted inside them. Alright. Alright, y'all. That's what we have. This is what we have. I, for one, really dig it. And I think adding some dots may make it a little bit over the top. So I'm going to cure that. We're going to leave that as is. I'm going to wipe this on my hairy paper towel. Oh, y'all. Alright, so with this, what I'm also going to do, because I just realized, like, looking at the picture, is it needs something else. So, clean this a little bit. Yes, normally I would take clear, but while I'm doing the nail art, I just rinse with alcohol and then clean. When I'm done with everything, then I'll go over and condition my brushes. So, if you've not seen that TikTok yet, all you do is you get some base or top gel or whatever you want, and that's how you clean your brush. I can show you when I'm done after this. So let's see. Yeah, they're all different sizes too. It's whatever. This always happens to me. This hand will probably be my go-to hand for everything this week, because these are just... This one came out so good though. So good, you guys. I'm just gonna look up really quickly. Really quickly. Some stuff while I repair this finger. So what I did was cut away the lifting. Alright. And normally you would go in and you would just kind of file to make it flush. Which you should always do, is you always want to file before you apply anything. And what I'm just going to go through and do here is just seal this hole with my builder gel. Especially since I know I'm not wearing these nails very long, so me doing this patch fix just so I can take pictures is perfectly fine. I mean, you can try it in the long run. You didn't hear this from me, but it works perfectly fine if you mess up your gel set and you chip something and you fill it in with builder gel instead of like the original hard gel you were using. It's perfectly fine. Nothing bad is going to happen to your nail. You're just going in and adding a bit of stability, which is what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds. But what I did want to do was show you my inspiration. So I finally found whatever it's called that I was trying to do. Apparently it's called the evil eye. And so now I'm a little confused because I just did a plain blue eye. So I think what I will need to do, because none of these have, well, no, this one has white, so I could potentially just go in with a light blue. I'm gonna just mirror this one. I'm gonna go in with a light blue, and that should help us out, I think. I hope. So that's why I'm cleaning this one off, because I'm actually gonna go in with this light blue here, just because I think that this is going to give us a little bit better contrast to it. Yeah, perfect. The other one would have been way too dark for us, you guys. Oops, I need to stand there a little bit longer. However, I was a bit curious after looking. That's my blue. I can probably clean that blue off really quickly. And would you look at that brand new nail? Alright, or we could go this one. Which one looks more evil eye? Like, compared to that picture, I'm not too sure. I think the light blue is best, so I'm going to go ahead and let that one get cleaned off. And we're going to proceed with the light blue, and we're just going to make a little circle inside of here before we add our iris. So and so because I'm just making a ring and not like trying to fill it, I don't want it to be too thick. Alright. Wow. That took a lot more concentration than I thought it was going to take me. But I should have known that, huh? I should have known that. Alright. Alright. Alright, what do we think? Oh, guys, I feel like I fucking did it. Look at that shit. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to cure this. And then what I will also do is grab this bad boy here, and we will focus on making that inner dot. Probably grabs too much, but oh well. Alright, so it's curing now. So we're almost done with the thumbnail at least. And this is why my nails take so long. Because I'm indecisive and I never know exactly what I want to do with them, so it always ends up being like the hard part is like figuring it out, making sure everything is okay and working right. Yeah, so I have like 4 seconds left. So while I've got those 4 seconds left, I'm just gonna let this drip a little bit to the end, so that way when we place it, we've got ourselves Alright, is that good, you guys? Does it need to move up some? Like that? Did we do good? Did we do good? I feel like from a distance it's really good, but when you look at it up close, it's shit. Look how crooked my little lines are. Alright, I'm gonna cure it anyway. I'm also gonna get this extra stuff off my brush. You can't see it, but I'm actually gonna re-up on alcohol. I've been doing my nails for quite a bit, so I'm actually out of alcohol. It evaporates quite fast. Especially since I don't use a lot at a time. I use very little at a time because you don't need a lot of alcohol when you are going through your art and cleansing process. So when I don't have it in there, I have it in this bad boy. This is my other alcohol receptacle, holder, whatever. Alright, so now that this is done, and I mean this is done, we can move on to our next nail, which is going to be this one, which does need to be cleansed because it still has the inhibition layer on it. Now, because we have that faux pas, we do have this area missing up here. Yeah, some of that kind of went into my cuticle. Let's see. Not too much I can really do about it, so we're just gonna clean it up. And like I said, this is for if you're just trying to keep something really quick, pictures, things like that, yada yada yada. This is really good to do. Alright, so my surface is pretty much ready. Just making sure I'm not touching my thumbnail because it's not sealed yet, which is perfectly fine. And what I'm actually going to do is something I haven't done in a long time and wasn't even sure it was something I even wanted to do. We might just do some... I feel like I should, like, coat my baby so it doesn't get messed up. So I'm just going to go ahead and top coat this because I'm paranoid. I feel like I'm going to mess something up. And I'm already getting, like, splotches in my little, my thing. I'm going to see if I can clean that up really quickly before I cure this. So I am going to go ahead and cure this. Not with this one though. This is my... Nobody's seen it, but this was from when I was doing a lot of chromage. And I was doing a lot of chromage. So this is my exclusively chrome top coat. So we're not going to use that. I'm going to go find my other top coat so that way we don't have to worry about messing up what we've just done because this is too cute to let get messed up. So I will be right back. Enjoy the music. I'm just gonna get another top coat. Alright, so I am back with my top coats. What I'm actually going to do is use this one. This is the one that comes with the kit that I was telling you about. And I'm using this one because it's thin. Alright, so like it's massively thin. Like it runs like water thin. And I don't have a lot of it left. I probably should go buy more. This one also has an inhibition layer to it. But you guys know how I feel about inhibition layers. I like them. I will let them stay on my nail until I'm ready to wipe it off. Alright. What I'm also going to do is not spill it. Okay. What I'm also going to do is clean up my cuticle area. Just because I don't like having that cured in there. It makes my nails look wonky. And my nails are wonky enough as it is. I got really fat fingers. So we don't need that extra shit in there. That's a hair. We don't need in there. Alright, so that we're going to cure for 60 seconds. I know it's just your regular old top coat, but something about Orly and curing for 30 seconds doesn't work all that well with their top coat, and I think it's just because of the formula, which is perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. We can do that. Yeah, sorry, a lot of that was off camera. I didn't mean for that to be the case. It just kind of happened that way. But I will let you see. Ooh, excuse me. I will let you see it. Sorry about that burp, y'all. I will let y'all see it when I take it out. I'm also getting my little cottonelle ready. My little no lint free, my little wipe. So that way, when I pull it out and I clean it up, it's gonna look really good. Yeah, sorry, there's nothing really going on here. I'm just waiting for my nail. Nail lamp. You know what I could do is go over all the colors one more time, or another, time while I wait, which is not a problem. So what we've been using, or at least what we just used for the eye, is that Neon Blue 15 by Medusa, in addition to the Pompano Breeze, which is number 72 from Medusa. So those are two colors that we've used for the eye, and then obviously we've used black and white, which is going to be number 1, Flying Nimbus, and number 84, First New Moon. So let me see here. So here's our baby. Let me clean it off. Alright, so here's our baby. I quite like how that came out. Obviously it's not perfect, we're still learning, but I quite like how this came out. Now we just need to figure out, oh, did I cure something on this? I most certainly did. Alright, so now what we want to do is figure out what to do on these two nails, because this one is taken. This one is going to get bling along with this one. This one might get some bling, so that way I have something in between the lashes of the eye. We're undecided yet. Actually, you know what I could do? Because we're undecided, you guys, I could have the middle finger be this purple, because we have purple in here. It's hard to see, but this would bring it out. Would it not? Would it not? So what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna go ahead and coat this in glitter. Now, the challenge part of this would be figuring out how we want to do that. Do we want to use the builder so that way it holds on to it more? Or do we just want to use some regular old top coat? That's what I need to figure out. We could use the glue gel because the stuff works really well. I just don't know about its shine. This works really well as a Gel X dupe. So I'm wondering if we put this on, because it's a little bit of a thicker consistency similar to that gel in the bottle, the builder in a bottle, will it hold the glitter more? That's what I want to know. Honestly, this will shortcut me a nail. And just to go ahead and back up this nail color, I'm actually going to go ahead and just apply it full on. So we're going to go ahead and take that lilac color that we just had sitting there, and we're just going to go apply it over the nail. Originally, I didn't have any crazy plans with this nail, but I think having the lavender background before we go in to apply that really pretty glitter that I found at Michael's, by the way. So if anybody's ever like, I don't know what colors, or I don't know, or I'm missing a glitter, or I want a specific glitter, try Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any of those kind of craft stores. Walmart even has a selection of glitters that you cannot ignore. Similar to Target, my first set of glitters that I used, especially when I was into color creating, which I most certainly will do a stream on because somebody has asked me about that before, and now that I have the means to do it via old mobile phone, I can actually set up a time and a stream to kind of go through glitter and acrylic mixes and what I use and what I have been using thus far for those that are interested. because I have gotten those questions before. I know I put up like 1 to 2 videos on TikTok about my mixing. It didn't go into the process. It kind of just showed me doing some mixing just because that's fun and I like doing that. I like playing with colors a lot. But what I could do instead, at least for like a stream and those for the community, is I could go ahead and do like a more in-depth version, and that will pretty much talk about like the ingredients. I wouldn't be able to advise per any kind of ratios because it's honestly going to depend on what you want when you're making it, or like what you're looking for to happen when you're making it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because like everybody is going to be using different things to get a similar, if not the same, result. Preferably something different. Just because I like watching other people make other colors, because I'm really bad at color theory. In fact, I don't even know color theory. I just know that red and blue makes purple. Brown, blue, and a little bit of red can kind of make a burgundy, but for me it just kept coming out as a rum raisin. Don't even ask. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So I've got this coated the way I like. It's cleaned up, nothing in the cuticle. I'm going to go ahead and put it in for the full 60 seconds, and this is just to go ahead and cover our bases. And what I am going to do is go ahead, for the sake of the stream and all experimenting and trying things new, I am going to go ahead and use this at the SXC 3-in-1 glue gel base slip to apply the glitter. Unless we don't think that's a good idea. You know what? Let's go ahead and just use a really thin coat of the builder gel. I think that's going to hold a little bit better than me trying to just put in some top gel. And then what I'm also going to try and do, which I don't think I'll be able to, so let me get another paper towel, was find my little dipping tray. And that's usually what I would use in order to avoid a lot of like fallout and things like that, but I can't do that right now, so we're just gonna go old-fashioned. And there's nothing wrong with old-fashioned, people. If you have to go old-fashioned, you have to go old-fashioned. And we're gonna try putting this bad boy on there. Alright, so my nail's now ready. I am gonna go ahead and use my builder gel. I've been using the builder gel all friggin' night, so let's just use it some more. And we're doing a really thin coat. We just want a coat enough to where our glitter is gonna stick. That's all we want. And the reason why I went back to add that little layer of purple was in the event something happened that we didn't like. So alright, so that's pretty much my nail right now. And I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in for the full 60 seconds. It was pretty fine. I did like it. Now I am gonna go ahead and put this back in. Now the reason why I'm able to put this back in is because even all throughout the process of me doing my nails, I cleanse my hand like a maniac. I have like tons of hand sanitizer. I use a lot of the alcohol to clean up. So I don't have any qualms putting this glitter back in. I only have a ton of it, but still. I'm also going to take out my brush. So so we probably won't end up putting this back in because I'm about to try to brush this. And there's already different powders in this brush, so. Alright, so this is how this nail is going to look. This is how this nail is going to stay. No top coat needed. This one is going to be pure texture. And I kind of like that. Now, what we can do for this one so it's not so plain, because the more I look at it, the more I hate it, we can add maybe the triangles from underneath the eye onto here, so that way this one's not plain. Do we like that? Do we want that? Guys, I don't know. I keep looking at this eye. I did such a good ass job. Like, I'm so proud of myself for this. You've no idea. Okay. Alright, so what this is actually gonna get ended up putting in is my little baggie of leftovers. So I have like a bag of leftover glitters that I use first when I'm doing stuff. And that's where that's gonna go. So I'm not gonna put that one back in. Actually, I changed my mind. Which is fine. Everybody changes their mind. I'm so in love with this. This came out so cute. Right now, these are my two favorite nails. My little blue evil eye and this purple. Using the builder gel was a good move, guys. Good move. Good idea, guys. Everybody, wonderful idea. Alright, so. Because I feel like it needs something. I just don't know what it needs. So, let me rough this up a little bit. I don't know, y'all. I really don't know. Should I glitter just this side? No, because I've already got glitter here. Let's just add some extra details. Let's just do that. Let's just add a little bit. We can wipe it off if we don't like it. That's the beauty of gel. And wipe it off if we don't like it. I'm going to go in with a little smaller brush this time. I don't know, is there like a thing that goes with the evil eye maybe? Should I look that up? Let's look that up. Ooh, let's look that up and see. Because I feel like me just putting the little thingies on there is not going to be as fun. So hold on here. No, Cody, you can't come in here. I already have a bunch of hair in my nail stuff already. Alright, you guys. I'm trying to figure out what we want to add. Should we write the word vibes? So this is gonna be a little bit harder with the smaller brush. Now that I've decided what I want to do, but I'm not gonna swap brushes because I'm stubborn. Alright. Thank goodness I finally got it out. Oh my god, that was bothering me. Alright, the E is gonna be the hardest part. I just know it. I'm gonna cure this. Alright, so I'm doing 10-second cure. And this is just to make sure that everything so far is going to stay where I want it. Ten-second cure is done. Now we're gonna work on the E. I'm at 10 cure. Doing another 10-second cure. Alright. Right? S's go this way, I'm sure. Alright, so I kind of dig it. It's like a weird, like, messy yet not messy. Alright, so I'm like in 100% on this. Alright, so we're going to do another 10-second cure on that. And then what I think I'm going to do on the pinky is I'm going to do the outline of the eye in black. But I'm going to emboss it in silver. So that way we have something going on there. This I am in a top coat. We're gonna use a thin one too, just to be on the safe side so nothing happens to my letters. Alright, we're going in with our really thin one here. Obviously, we're going to clean up the cuticles. Oops, sorry, y'all. I just hit the camera. Like, really bad. Alright, so this is not getting a 10-second cure. This one is going in for the full 60 seconds, as I already explained, because I just don't trust Orly in a 30-second timer with Belle. So that one's getting the full minute. So while we have the full minute, I guess I'll take this time to ramble some more. I just don't know what to ramble about now. I've been utterly defeated. Everything that I would ever want to rant about, I've already ranted about, I feel like. I ranted about the bug biting my foot, which made me super sad because now I can't even move my foot. Like the toes, they don't move very well. I don't know if this is normal or if I should go get checked out. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, and 3, 2, 1 out. And inhibition layer, goodbye. Alright, so far all of our fingers are pretty good, except for this one. But we're putting something on this one, so that's why. So the next thing we need to do is figure out what to do with our pinky. Should we just do a full oh no, I said what I was gonna do with my pinky, didn't I? Sorry, I just got some gel in that little crevice and it was gonna bother me, so I had to take that gel off. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back in and we're just gonna do a simple evil eye pattern. Or, you know, maybe we'll do nah, it won't work. Not the way I want it to. So we're gonna remove that. That's not gonna do what we want it to do. So we're gonna get rid of it. All of it. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing now that that's not going to work and now I've got gel in the crevice of this finger too, Jesus. I think we're just gonna full marble this one because I don't know what to do and I'm kind of lost. So, or you know what? Should we? I'm so lost, you guys. Sorry, I was off camera like fixing the gel that was underneath because that other one is still running so thin. What do I want to do? I don't know, you guys. I really don't know. You know what? We're gonna all one color this. But we're gonna all one color it with style, okay guys? So I'm gonna go ahead and cure this for 30. I'm going to grab a little bit more of this because once the 30 is done, we're going to do some more marbling, but we're going to marble a little bit differently. So instead of me mixing it here on this palette, which I could do, I'm actually going to mix everything on the nail while it's wet. So once it comes out of the oven, which we do have 8 more seconds on, we're going to go through, put this on top. We're going to do one good, hopefully thin coat because I can't be a bit heavy-handed, and then we're gonna go in with all of our additional colors and see how we feel about it. So here we go. This is our one good coat. I hope everybody can see this is our one good coat. Let me move this back this way. I'm in a different position than I was before. This is our one good coat. I feel like I said that like 17 times. I'm sorry, y'all. So this is our one good coat. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and clean up the cuticle. as always, because that's what I need to do. If I don't, then everything's not gonna look good. This is why my cuticles are always so dry, because I'm always like constantly cleaning them like I have to. If I don't, it's crazy. Alright, so now we can go in with our other colors. I am scared about getting the yellow though. I am concerned about that yellow, but I'm going to pick up this so we don't have any waste. I'm also going to pick up this one so we don't have any waste. And then I am going to pick up that yellow because we do need that in here. And so now this is where you'll see probably that more common video of people doing the marble on the nail. This is kind of where this mess comes from. So you just kind of curl it until you like it, I guess. I'm not the best at this kind of deal, so I kind of just let whatever it is be. And then if I need more of something, then I will go get more of that something. Like for this one, I feel like maybe a little more yellow down here. Maybe a little bit more purple here. And so you just kind of just keep doing what you want until you like it, you know? Alright, so once you get it how you like it, if you like it, there's no pressure if you don't like it, because I'm going to tell you this right now, there have been plenty of times where I didn't like it. I feel like it needs more purple. Alright, and now we've got all of our colors. And now I'm going to go ahead and cure this for 30 seconds. Alright, and so there we have it. And I think I just wanted to keep going with that theme of you know. Alright, so I'm going to top coat this one with our water top coat. Call it water because this thing is so thin it drips everywhere. So this is going in for 60 seconds along with everything else. And now comes the fun part. So what I'm going to do is close these up, but I'm still going to go over all the colors with you guys. Just so that way everybody knows what colors we use today. So this is the black. This is First New Moon. This is number 84 by Medusa Gel. And I got the white gel on me. This is Flying Nimbus. This is the white gel that we were using today. And that's kind of what made up that sclera of our eye. Here is Neon Blue 15, which is number 161 for Medusa Gel. And it's part of the Neon collection. That's why there's an N before the 161. And that is what made up part of the iris for our evil eye. Here is Glow of Soul, number 64. That is that light yellow we were using in a lot of our marbling and our ombre. Well, no, mainly marbling. We've not ombre today. Summer Lilac, which is number 44, is that kind of like light lilac lavender purple color. That is really pretty, and that is number 44 for Medusa Gel. 72, Pompano Breeze. It's that really pretty blue we're also using. This is also one of the ones that we used in our marble here. This is Voila. And this is number... One second here. I'm feeling this is 174. That's when I had to go research. And last but not least, we have Waters of Morocco. And that is the 73rd color. Sorry about that. I didn't even let you see Morocco, did I? I didn't. It's like a teal blue. I think on the camera it looks a bit darker. But it's a lot lighter than the blue one that I had shown before. So I'm going to go ahead and close all of these up so that way we do not have an accident while I move on to bejeweling. I'm going to take a mini water break and hydrate myself some. So now that I've gotten water in my system, water is good. You need to hydrate always. I know it's cool to hate water. I hate water, but we also gotta stay hydrated, y'all. Alright, so that is all my colors closed to prevent an accident. I'm gonna go ahead and dump that away. I am going to also clean my palette, because if we don't, we're going to have more gel stuck on there, and that'll be hard to clean up, and we don't want that. Alright, so I'm going to get the gels. Hold on, really quickly before I forget, I am going to show you all how I clean my brushes and preserve them. Really quickly. I like to use a base gel. I don't miss base gels as much. That, and I buy a ton of them. So I like to use base gels when I'm doing this. And so this is kind of, if you've probably seen it all over TikTok, I think it's been resurfacing again. I know I have a video about it. A few other people have a video about it that came up around the same time as my video. So what you're going to want to do is get some of that clear, and you're just going to kind of use the clear to push out any pigment that may have been on the brush. Now a lot of people are like, well, how do I get rid of that excess that's sitting on the brush? As you can see right there, that excess, all you have to do is wipe it away and your brush is clean. Now you've got a good clean brush for another day. This also allows your brushes to kind of keep their shape, keep that point, so that way when you are going in to do art and things like that, you don't have a ruined brush. And I will show you what a ruined brush looks like, because I have many of them. but they're dry, they're frazzled out, they don't hold well, they're either lopsided like this, and this could just be because it was either sitting on its side or something like that. But before you put it away, especially if it's one you've not used, just go ahead and use that clear so that way it gets that shape that you want back. And then you can store it, and then hopefully it won't be leaning again. Hopefully. Yeah, these brushes are wonderful, but they're a little cheap. Okay, next, especially if you had some color in it, you are going to want to do this a few times to make sure that you get that color out. And so you see this is where our excess is, and this is what we're going to wipe off. And then to make sure it's completely clean, you go back in and you get yourself some more, and you see if anything is being pushed out of the brush. If you're looking and you're not seeing, you know, okay, no, it's not cloudy, no, it's not dirty, and you're good, you can do that final swipe. Make sure you still got a little gel on the brush, and then you can just store it and you're fine. So this is pretty much how I clean majority of my art and application brushes, so that way they stay a decent shape, because we all hate when a brush gets fucked up. Alright, that should be this one. I don't think we used, but I am going to go ahead and coat it because this one is a little dry. This one I think may be one of my older brushes, yeah, because it doesn't. Yeah, so what I'm just doing is kind of almost like a little mini condition, so I'm just going to re-coat this brush so that way it's ready for next time. But yeah, so even every once in a while, even if there's a brush I've not used or I know I'm not going to use, I still go ahead and do it, because you never know. But again, you see how it's kind of cloudy and it's got all that stuff in it? It's because that's what you're pushing out. And it's good for, you know, getting the glitter out of stuff too. If you use like a lot of gels that have glitter in it, but the glitter is just not leaving your brush, do this. This will weigh down that glitter and push it out. And you're good to go. To be honest, I kind of forgot like this was a thing that one does to clean their brushes, because I'm so bad at cleaning my brushes. I try to get better now, so I'm happy that I remembered to show you guys, because the act of me showing you actually made me clean my brushes the right way. Alright, so now I'm going to get the gems, and oh right, this is an inhibition layer, doesn't it? So now what I'm going to do is go get the gems, and we're going to see how we feel about the gems. So it may take me a few minutes, so I am going to say go ahead and enjoy the music. I will try to find something to leave here for you guys so that way you're not bored. But I will be right back.